Hello everybody, my name is Ruby, and today we're going to be talking about auto shift.
Looking through the night, but I'm still alive. Running said you pull my dress, and that's the stick of life. Lord, do this what you want with this little life. Money come and go, but I still survive. Tell you why, call it faith. That's just how I found my place. Take your time, I can wait. Lessons here to teach me space. Know your worth, show your grace. How you go from good to great.
Auto shift is a real-time pitch correction plugin, similar to Antoneer's Autotune. It was added in Live 12, and it is very specifically designed for vocals, so that's mostly what this video is going to be covering. Let's start with these background vocals. So the key of my track is in C minor. So in the auto shift plugin, we can set our key down here, we can manually punch in notes, or we can turn on this to sync it to the project's key. I'll be honest, I don't really use that feature in Live very much, so mine is just going to be chromatic by default. So I just set it here. You can go your root note, and then pick the mode, or scale, whatever it's called. I'm not great with music theory, to be honest with you. But here's what the vocal sounds like. Now, the singer was already pretty on point with the pitch. They may have used Autotune in recording it for Splice, I'm not entirely sure, but I turned the smoothing all the way down to give it that like robotic kind of sound that's really popular. If we turn it up, we can hear it smooths out the pitch change. There's also this vibrato knob you can play with. I think it works better if you speed it up and turn it down a little bit. And then you can fade it in. That way it holds the note for a certain amount of time and then starts the vibrato. But I didn't think that was really necessary for this because the original sample already has a bit of vibrato in it. So yeah, for this beat, I have the smoothing turned down all the way on this track. So it can then transition to this one that is smoother and has some chorus on it in the background. And I also found, here if I turn off this chorus, so it's just the auto shift. If you mix them in parallel, it adds a bit of phasing to it. So here I just have the dry one, and then the auto shift with a smoother panning, so it's not as clicky, right? It's just a really cool chorus effect. And of course, you can just do this with the dry wet knob. I just prefer to do parallel processing this way. So yeah, onto the rap vocal here.
Working through the night, but I'm still alive. Burning said you pull my dress, and that's the stick of life.
You can see on the title of the vocal here, it actually was recorded in A minor, and I'm using auto shift to shift it to the key of the song. For that reason, I think this device is very powerful, especially if you're playing with samples instead of recording your own. Maybe you really like a vocal line you found, but it doesn't fit the key of your song and you want to keep that key. You can use auto shift to try and push it into that key. Now if I turn up the smoothing here, you'll hear it sounds pretty natural.
Burning said you pull my dress, and that's the stick of life. Lord, do this what you want with this little life. Money come and go.
And so some other interesting things I found that you can do with it. You should also set the pitch range here. I'm not entirely sure how that works, but you can tell it'll light up next to which one it thinks you should have it set to.
Night, but I'm still alive.
So you can see that one shows mid. And over here, highlights up. So that's a quick, easy indicator, but you can play with them and figure out which one sounds better, because sometimes a different one might sound interesting. But here on the rap vocal, the Formant knob is really cool. Oops, I have the wrong thing soloed.
Night, but I'm still alive. Burning said you pull my dress, and that's the stick of life.
So if you want that sort of like Brockhampton-y sound from like the saturation era, I found pitch shifting it up a little bit and then turning the Formant down a little bit.
Night, but I'm still alive. Burning said you pull my dress, and that's the stick of life. Lord, do this what you want.
You know, that can sound really cool. I couldn't really find a cool use for it on the drums. However, I did use it on the bass here, automating this Formant control. So it's maybe not the best way to create that sort of effect, but I do think it still sounds interesting. So if you guys have any interesting techniques utilizing the auto shift device, feel free to share them in the comments. And that's all I got for you today. Have a good one, y'all.